In early 2024, an extreme winter in Mongolia killed more than 7 million animals. 2 years later, that event is still moving the price of a cashmere sweater in Milan. And the press has mostly covered it as a 2024 climate story, not as the supply story that hits prices today. Listen, stay with me on this. In early 2024, Mongolia was hit by a severe Dzud. That's the local word for a winter so cold the livestock cannot survive it. The numbers are documented. More than 11% of national livestock died. Over 7.4 million animals lost. Roughly 2.5 million of those were goats. Mongolia produces about a third of the world's cashmere. The Gobi Desert is the heartland of that production. Raw cashmere prices in the 2024 season rose roughly 12% year-on-year in local currency. That price did not bounce back in 2025. It kept climbing. This is not a cashmere price hike. This is a climate event from 2 years ago, still working through the chain. When a Dzud kills a third of a herd, the goats don't grow back overnight. Replacing a productive herd takes years, not months. 2 to 3 seasons before new generations reach full fiber output. The supply hole opens immediately. The fill takes years. 2026 is the first season where the full hit on processed yarn, on knitwear pricing, on retail tags is becoming visible. What looks like cashmere is getting expensive in 2026 is actually the 2024 winter is finishing its journey through the supply chain. And here is the part the retail margin teams already know, but most of the press is not connecting. You see it clearly in the numbers. Now watch this. 11.5% of Mongolia's livestock gone in one winter. 7.4 million animals, 2.5 million of them goats. That's the raw cashmere production base for an entire year, partially destroyed in a few weeks. Industry analysis on knitwear buyers in Europe shows yarn prices climbing into 2026. Raw material price volatility can erode a brand's profit margins by up to 15% in a single season. Let that sit with you for a second. The cashmere market itself is forecast to grow from $3.6 billion in 2025 to roughly $5.3 billion by 2034. Demand keeps rising. Supply was structurally fixed before the Dzud. Now it's structurally fixed and recovering. The math doesn't care what the consumer expects to pay. Quick one before we go deeper. If this is landing for you, hit the like. And if you made it this far, leave a ring emoji in the comments. Those who know me know why. For everyone else, stay curious. You will figure it out. I do not read this like a journalist. I read it from where I sit. Prato is my base. The German-speaking market and the Benelux are my territory. Italian, Turkish, and Chinese mills are who I represent. Every day in the middle. Here is what stands out from that seat. Italian knitwear brands have known about this for months. In standard industry timing on a fiber crisis like this, the conversations about which percentage of cashmere blend to maintain on next season's pieces shift early. The procurement teams adjust first. The decision moves from creative director to CFO within a season. That's the pattern, not the exception. What hasn't happened yet, at least not publicly, is the conversation between the brand and the final buyer. The retail tags for next winter haven't all been printed. The marketing language for what counts as premium cashmere in 2026 and 2027 is still being written. And here is what matters for anyone who buys, sources, or sells cashmere in the next 12 months. The disconnect between what the chain knows and what the consumer is being told is going to widen. The brands that can name the climate supply link directly will look more credible than the ones that quietly raise prices and hope. So 3 things to take from this. 1. The cashmere price increase you're seeing now is not a market mood. It's a documented climate event from 2024 still hitting the chain. Read it as structural, not cyclical. 2. If you are on the buyer side and source from cashmere knitwear suppliers, ask them directly what percentage of their 2026 and 2027 raw is sourced from herds affected by the Dzud. If they cannot answer, your roadmap is exposed. 3. If you are on the brand side, the transparency window is open right now. Naming the climate supply link in your marketing language is more durable than quietly raising the tag price. The buyer who reads about a Dzud and then sees the new price tag understands. The buyer who only sees the price feels gouged. I want to know what you think. If you work with cashmere as a buyer, a brand, or a mill, have you seen this conversation start happening publicly yet, or is it still inside the procurement room? And one more thing before I let you go. This is the second time in 3 weeks I've talked about a raw material that is moved beyond a normal cycle. A few weeks ago it was wool, up 74% year on year in dollar terms. Today it's cashmere, moving on a different driver, a climate one. 2 different fibers, 2 different stories, same direction. The pressure on the supply side is real. The brands that absorb it quietly will spend next year explaining the prices. The brands that name the cause now will spend next year being trusted. The next video continues the conversation on a topic that emerges Monday. On my right, when it goes up. On my left, the video on Australian wool prices from a few weeks back. Same dynamic, different fiber. Stay curious. Talk soon.